We are to week 5 of NFL action here on Fantasy Focus, which can mean only one thing. We're going to be making more Monkey Night Fight DFS picks for week 5 of NFL action. I'm Derek Tate alongside Ryan Levy and Matt Bucs as we break down our DFS picks for the Thursday night football tilt between Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Nick Foles and the Chicago Bears. So, boys, two teams that are coming off very different week 4 performances. Many Chicago Bears fans were very encouraged by the debut of Nick Foles, where he jumped in and kind of saved their skins in week 3 against the Atlanta Falcons, tossed 3 second-half touchdowns, could have had a couple more in a comeback effort for the Chicago Bears. But week 4, they really laid an egg, only putting up, 11 points against the Indianapolis Colts. And on the other hand, Tom Brady, 5 touchdown passes against the Los Angeles Chargers in a 17-point comeback effort at Raymond James Stadium. So the Bucs are going up to the Windy City to take on the Bears at Soldier Field. Of course, you haven't joined yet Monkey Night Fight. Go to monkeyknightfight.com. When you create an account and make your first deposit, use the promo code FOCUSED, and they will match your first deposit up to $50 in your account. So, Levy, I'll start with you when it comes to which contest you want to play for this Thursday night tilt, because the Bears offense, we really expected a little bit more from Nick Foles under center after his debut against the Falcons. But then again, we found out that the Falcons defense is the Falcons defense, and the Colts defense is pretty damn good. So kind of take this performance with a grain of salt. How do you think he'll fare against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and which contest do you like in particular this Monkey Night Fight Thursday night matchup?
Yeah, well, I love me some rapid fire, so I definitely want to do that. But I just want to say it's interesting. I know the Buccaneers are banged up at the wide receiver position, and they also lost O.J. Howard. So it's a little rough out there. The water is getting rough for the pirate ship, if you will. But it's been interesting to see the line movement. That's what I've been keeping an eye on. Before, I believe Monday morning, the line was at 5.5 in favor for the Bucs. Yesterday, down to 4.5. As of Wednesday, the line is down to 3.5 in favor of the Buccaneers. But to me, regardless of who's catching passes from Tommy Boy, I assume Scotty Miller is going to play, and we'll see with the rest of these guys. But I just don't know that the Bears have enough firepower to keep up with the Bucs, regardless of who's catching passes. The only Bear that I feel comfortable starting in any fantasy format is Allen Robinson. But I certainly want no part of the ground game. The Bucs are just stuffing everyone. I want nothing to do with Nick. So, I'm kind of at a loss for words of why this line keeps moving down. What about you, Buck?
Well, I think it has to do with the fact that, the Buccaneers likely without Chris Godwin again. I know he didn't practice yesterday. We'll see what they call tomorrow, but I still think that the Bucs win this one going away. More than likely it's because it opened up pretty extended away from that 3 points. So you never really know moving into these things, especially with all the uncertainty with, are we even playing tomorrow night? And I know these two teams haven't gotten any positives, but I personally wouldn't be shocked if the NFL just shuts it down for a week, and we might have to do this again next Thursday. But I do believe the Buccaneers move forward in this one. I think they cover, and I think they absolutely stuff David Montgomery. So are we going to do this as the rapid fire here?
Oh, yeah.
I know Levy loves the rapid fires, so I'm going to go ahead and let Levy kick us off here with the rapid fires. So if you're unfamiliar with how Monkey Night Fight works, obviously a lot of prop bets, but in rapid fire, they pit 2 players against each other within one statistical category. So of course, the 2 quarterbacks facing off in the passing yardage category. The line for Brady and Foles in their heads-up matchup. Foles is getting 35.5 passing yards in this heads-up duel between him and Tom Brady. So it's actually kind of an intriguing line. Interesting with Nick Foles, because we don't know which Nick Foles we're going to get. And oftentimes I think that if you blitz Nick Foles, there are times where he's willing to take shots down the field, which could be in favor against this Buccaneers defense and this secondary in particular, which got caught. I mean, I'm not saying that they didn't make plays at the end of the game, but they did get tuned up by Justin Herbert dropping some deep ball dimes. So how do you see this heads-up matchup playing, Levy? Do you want Tom Brady or do you want the 35.5 yards for Nick Foles?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I'm certainly nervous about the Buccaneers secondary after seeing what old Justin Herbert did last week. That makes me somewhat nervous, but we're still talking about an inconsistent Nick Foles here. I think we're going to put pressure on. They're going to be expecting the pass because that line of the Bucs is definitely going to take care of Montgomery. I'm with Bucky on that for sure. 35 and a half yards is not enough to move the needle for me, even with a depleted receiving core. I'm going to go with Tommy Boy. My sleeper of the week is Cam Brate. Cam Brate on a short week is going to eat. I know he's not in this contest, but I just want to throw that out there. If you're playing GPPs, Cam Brate is going to eat.
See, I would actually lean towards Nick Foles. It was the first 300-yard passing effort of the season for Tom Brady. And you mentioned how David Montgomery, he got stuffed this past week, big time, under 3 yards per carry against the Indianapolis Colts. The Bucs are incredibly stout. So if the Bears are going to move the ball and have any way of sustaining drives, in my opinion, it's going to have to be with Nick Foles throwing the ball through the air, which means, I'm not saying that he's going to dominate the passing category and, he's going to throw for 350 to Brady's 220. But I think that, could they finish right around the same yardage total with maybe even a slight advantage to Nick Foles? Yeah, I do. Because actually this Bears defense gave up 100 yards rushing collectively to the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday. And Rojo's looked pretty good. And I don't know. Have we gotten official word on whether or not Leonard Fournette's going to be playing? I think that he isn't practicing, if I remember correctly. So, point is, I just think that the Bears, in order to really be able to win this game and sustain drives, it's going to have to be on Nick Foles' arm. So I've actually got Nick Foles because of a decent little handicap that he's got in this matchup.
I'm with Tate. I foresee the Buccaneers trying to establish a run game and sticking to that. Brady not going to throw for 369 again. If he does, I will gladly eat my words. I'll put him in a sock. I'll stuff it up my gullet here. No big deal. Okay? I'll do that for y'all. Nick Foles is the pick for me, getting that yardage. I think the running game is completely shut out, and they're going to have to move the ball via the pass. So I'll go Foles. And it doesn't feel great.
No. Bucs are holding the Bears to 10 points in this game either way. Let's go.
I'm not worried about points here, brother. I'm worried about the yards.
I just remember our last trip to Soldier Field, Levy. We went to the Bucs versus Bears at Soldier Field, and boy, that was a disaster. Mitch Trubisky threw for 6 touchdown passes in that game. If it gives you any idea of how that one went.
Now, the only thing I remember from that day is how drunk I was by halftime.
Oh, I was blacked out by the time we were home.
Didn't the old boy, one of our friends back when we were in college, just fly up to Chicago on a whim and go to the Bucs game at Soldier Field? Didn't tell his parents, didn't tell anybody. And then they're watching the Bucs game at Soldier Field and they just see him in the crowd.
True story.
That's amazing. Amazing story.
We'll leave him unnamed, but yes, that did happen. And
you
gotta love getting in trouble that way, getting caught red-handed on national television.
Yeah. Fantastic stuff.
So we move to receptions now. We got Allen Robinson versus Mike Evans. So, Levy, you said the one guy you feel confident about is Allen Robinson. And Mike Evans, who is dealing with an injury in his own right, is getting half a reception in this heads-up matchup. Obviously, if there's no Chris Godwin again, Mike Evans should see a healthy allotment of targets, but so should Allen Robinson. So how do you see this one playing out? This really feels like a coin flip.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a coin flip, but I expect the Buccaneers to be playing from ahead in this game. And if we believe that they're going to establish the run, Evans is banged up, like you said. It makes me nervous. He's got a couple different lingering injuries there. So naturally, I want to lean with Allen Robinson. It's only a half a reception favored here. So give me the AR-12, Tater.
Fair enough. Yeah, it really, the injury gives me a little bit of a nod. And as well as we've seen the Buccaneers secondary playing recently, with Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean, and even, throwing in that rookie Antoine Whitfield Jr., I just feel as if none of them match up very well with Allen Robinson. So give me Allen Robinson because he's healthy and because, again, game flow favors Robinson in this scenario.
Yeah, and Robinson, 2 out of the 4 games with 10-plus catches, so I'm going to side with Robinson here. He's been more consistently involved. Evans is looking more and more like the goal line threat for Brady, and not all that involved between the 220s. He's just not. So I look for this to be an Allen Robinson, a little bit of a showcase here.
I thought he did a really good job actually against Casey Hayward and the rest of that secondary unit, all over the field. I thought that one deep ball, it looked like they were, Hayward just lost it. But point being, let's roll with Allen Robinson.
This is targets and receptions here, Derek.
So well, I know we're the math.
I like the deep ball as much as any other guy.
So we're moving to rushing yards, and this is where what is the official word on Leonard Fournette? I forgot the decision. What's that?
I believe he's a game time decision, but either way, to me at this point, it's Rojo's backfield right now. I mean, even when Fournette was healthy a couple weeks back, he looked like ass.
I would be shocked if they actually roll Fournette out there. If he's not 100% and Rojo was fine and was productive last week, then why roll him out there? For me, this is an easy. Even if Fournette plays, Montgomery against this rushing unit up front defensively against the Buccaneers, I mean, they just put it on opposing running backs. So this is an easy Rojo.
All day. I mean, Rojo. You could add another 10 yards to this and I'd still take Rojo.
Fair enough. So I'll put a 5 spot on this again. Good time to go ahead and mention, if you are new to Monkey Knife Fight, go to monkeyknifefight.com, create your account, and when you make your first deposit, use the promo code FOCUSED, and Monkey Knife Fight will match your first deposit up to $50 into your account. And it's that time of day, boys, where we get that 6 for 6, more or less 30 times your buy-in here on monkeyknifefight.com. So we'll run down the list. Bucky, Brady, 274.5 passing yards, more or less.
Less.
Yeah, I'm going to go less as well. I think it's going to be like a 265 day for old Tommy boy.
A lot of dinged up pass catchers, and I just don't know if I trust the Chicago Bears offense to make this a shootout. So while Brady will definitely go to the air to sustain drives, if it's a low-scoring affair in the Windy City, then I'm just going to go ahead and go less. I just don't see a very high-scoring game between these two teams. Moving over to the other side of the coin, though, Nick Foles, 238.5 passing yards. And, say what you will about how much the Bears struggled on the offensive side of the football last week. Nick Foles still threw for 249 yards passing. And we mentioned how we expect them to struggle running the football against this Bucs unit. So what do you think? Levy, I'll throw it to you first. 238.5 for Nick Foles.
Yeah, so I know you're both going to say more here because it makes sense based on what we said on the first one. But I got to stick to my guns, and I'm going to put all my chips in the Buccaneers center here. I'm going to say less. Old BDN's going to throw for like 212. Buccaneers win this game 26-13.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to go with Nick Foles going more than 238. I mean, I think he throws for somewhere around 260.
Give me more.
Yeah, I'm going more. Me and Bucky, we outnumber you here, Levy.
I can't contradict myself. You gotta give me some respect for sticking to my guns.
I do. Please concede.
I concede. I knew it was coming on this one.
Yield. Damn it. Rojo. So now 64.5 rushing yards for Ronald Jones. Against this Bears unit, we saw, Jonathan Taylor run for 68. For some reason, Jordan Wilkins got, 10 carries. But Rojo, we expect him to see probably somewhere around 15, right? So, yeah. I've got more on this total.
It's so tricky because he's legitimately, I think they just took his season total at 253 and divided it by 4. Like, I'm going to go more here just because of the way I think this shapes out.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go more as well. I mean, I'm afraid of the Bears defense, though. The Bears defense is still respectable for sure. But I think he's going to get 18 to 20 carries, and naturally he's going to reach this total. So give me the more.
Just praying, keeping my fingers crossed that Leonard Fournette is not going to be active, because that significantly helps Rojo's chances of hitting the more in this scenario. So Allen Robinson, 5.5 receptions. Allen Robinson, Bucky, you've already mentioned kind of the target total through the first 4 weeks of the season, and then including last week, first full game under center for Nick Foles, 7 for 101 and a tutty. He was really the only offensive player that showed up. So you got more or less on Allen Robinson for receptions.
More
all day for me on this.
These 5.5s are tough, but I guess I figure he's going to get 8 catches this game. I'll say 8. Executive decision.
Love it.
I think there's a high chance he gets to 6. So yeah, let's roll with the more on that. Mike Evans, of course, dealing with an injury. And here's the thing when it comes to injured players here on Monkey Knife Fight, if they become inactive, they just cancel the bet outright. You don't lose your money because of a player not playing in a contest that you decided to throw a couple dollars on. So just keep that in mind when playing on Monkey Knife Fight. But 75.5 receiving yards for Mike Evans. Levy, this is a bit tricky. I'll throw it to you first.
I'm going to go less than this one. I am worried about the injury. And again, I trust the Bears defense. So I am going to go less. I think he finishes somewhere, assuming he plays, somewhere around 6 for 60. I just don't see the deep ball against the Bears. Am I crazy?
No, I'm going less as well.
So if they don't have Mike Evans, or Chris Godwin, though, I mean, it's a banged up Scotty Miller, and we even saw Mike Evans battling through that ankle injury, and he was still pretty effective. Mm-hmm. And no offense to, Bears fans, Bears truthers on the defensive side of the football. I'm not saying that the likes of Kyle Fuller and Jalen Johnson can't, at least give Mike Evans some issues, but I still think Mike Evans should eat against these two players. So give me Mike. I'd go more, but of course I'm outnumbered in this scenario.
No, go more.
Okay.
It's this. We're playing on your account on this one, so you get the ultimate decision. But
I mean we've been picking on you the whole time when it comes to Nick Foles, and you're thinking the Bears are going to score 10 total points.
We outmanned him. It was 2-1, but I'll let you have this one. I'll concede. I'll flip it. Mike Evans.
Yield.
Here's what's going to happen. We're going to see a very Aaron Rodgers-esque day from Tom Brady on Thursday Night Football. It might be ugly, but Cam Brate and Gronk are going to eat in this one. It's going to be the tight end show and the Scotty Miller show. Let's go.
Well, okay. So 62.5 receiving yards for Scotty Miller. What do you see, more or less?
More, baby. Let's go. It's Scotty time.
I'm going less here, Derek.
Yo, I mean, if I'm sitting here saying that Brady's going to throw for less than 274 yards, I can't predict both him and Mike Evans having huge days without him going over on that total, because I still think the running backs are going to be involved, whether it's Rojo and, him and his stone hands, or Keyshawn Vaughn or Rob Gronkowski or Cameron Brate. I'm not going to predict a huge day for Scotty Miller, even though I did eat my words a little bit on him on our Sunday show, which, by the way, shameless plug, we go live every Sunday morning at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time to answer your live questions heading into Fantasy Football Sundays. But I'm going to go less on this. I've got the big day for Mike Evans. However, this is still a respectable unit in the secondary for the Chicago Bears. So for that reason, I will actually fade Scotty Miller and go less on the 62.5.
Fair.
Sorry, Levy. We don't see this one eye to eye, it feels like, at all. But
can we finish this segment, this episode, with a score prediction?
You want to go? Oh, you want to go there?
Oh, I just want to say, all right, I was doing the math. I said 26-13. I'm gonna change my mind to 27-13. Buccaneers is my final prediction.
I mean, that's respectable, but I'm gonna go 30-17 Buccaneers.
I'm going 24-16. Sloppy Thursday night.
Missed extra point?
Either that or 3 field goals.
I feel like there's been a lot of missed extra points lately. It's been ugly.
Weird, man.
It's a weird year. Weird year. Speaking of weird year, that'll do it for this episode of Monkey Knife Fight DFS picks here on Fantasy Focus. If this is your first time coming across our channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, click the little bell so you don't miss any of when we drop a new video here on the YouTube channel. Also, again, if you have not yet done so, go to monkeyknifefight.com. Just do not forget to use the promo code FOCUS when you make your first deposit. And again, Monkey Knife Fight will credit your account up to $50 when you make your first deposit with the promo code. And until next time, goodbye and later, says the Tater.
See it.
Go Bucs.